Just clarification. So your wife likes
I
the
don't
way
know.
things are right now in
Maybe
this
she
moment?
just hates my face so much. She wants me to cover it in any
Just
way I
wants to
can.
grow.
Yeah,
Cover,
she's like, just whatever, like brown bag,
cover the
whatever.
whole thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Just do
Like
whatever
a
you gotta
ski
do.
mask with the eyes and the
Yeah.
mouth. Yep. Yep.
So maybe that's it. I don't know. What's up, boys?
Hi.
Hello.
Guys, don't judge me. I have to shave.
Oh, you don't want us to judge you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not going to judge you, but I do need to know, what were you thinking when you decided to grow the thing on your face?
Just
Again,
remember
no judgments.
Yeah.
Well,
No, that thing on your face.
it wasn't really much of a thought process. So it was 4th of July weekend, and I just didn't really shave all weekend. And then my wife was like, hey, I don't think it looks that bad. Let's just see how it grows out. And I was like, all right, let's do that. And what really ended up happening over the next like consecutive days was like my neck grew in, but like really not much else. So I feel like a little bit like less of a real man in some ways, because like I can't grow like a full beard even though I'm mid 40s.
Sure.
But
I think you just really you gotta like let it go and just get, this is what they call the tough part. And I mean, it almost looks like, is it not coming in around the chin? Like, is it almost
No, it's
handlebar?
white. It's coming in white around the chin. That's the
Oh, I
problem.
can't tell on the screen. Yeah. Hey, I know all about that.
I'm struggling with the handlebar. Like, you have the Hulk Hogan mustache. That part is really troubling to see. I feel grateful knowing that listeners can't see this. It's actually, I know it would
actually do too.
Yeah.
Well, my wife wants me to keep it going because she says she doesn't like it. My kids are like, it's disturbing. Shave it now. And honestly, like, I really hate it. So I think I'm going to shave it tonight.
Just clarification. So your wife likes
I
the
don't
way
know.
things are right now.
Maybe
in this
she
moment?
just hates my face so much. She wants me to cover it in any way I can.
Grow.
Yeah. She's like, just whatever, like brown bag,
cover
whatever.
the whole thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Just do
Like
whatever
a
you gotta
ski
do.
mask with the eyes and the mouth. Yep. Yep.
So maybe that's it. I don't know.
I just want to recap, Mike. I'm not judging. What's that thing on your face? And I think there was something else that was like, I don't know.
Mike not being judgmental.
Yeah, that was not being judgy. Now, hey, let's flip it. Mike, be judgy.
Oh, I don't know if we can handle that.
I won't do that.
Okay.
I told him I won't judge. I'm not going to judge. I think it's a terrible decision. I think he looks like an idiot, but I'm not going to judge.
Well, thank goodness you're not judging.
Wow, I appreciate that. Way to hold back.
Yeah, I am holding back. But don't we have some important topics, Matt? Don't you? DLava is back in the mix. We talk about this show should just be called DLava.
So I know. So I'm both like so excited about just kind of like having him on and his whole like stream and everything going on there. And at the same time, I'm a little bit sad because what is evident to me is he's too much to be just my friend. Like he's like a celebrity. He's like within our whatnot community, he's a rock star. And I'm just like the little boy begging for the autograph. Like that's all. It was like a realization I had.
Not with that facial hair. You're not allowed.
No way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's a good topic to start with. So I was on his stream last night and I picked up more followers just hanging out in his stream than I think I have in my last two in my own shows combined, like with giveaways.
So were you recognized? Were you brought up? Like, so first of all, recommend you and your beard?
The man's, thankfully he couldn't see me. The man's a saint. So he does this for like a lot of people. It wasn't just me. He basically supports people he thinks are like good for the card community. Like he just does it out of kindness. He'll also, because he's so nice, I think in other people's streams, people come into his and like buy cards and then donate them back for giveaways. So then he like plugs them as well. But the thing that's crazy is like there's so many people donating back. I honestly question like how many people. I think there's more that donated cards back than actually received the cards. Like it's crazy how many, like keeping track of that seemed overwhelming to me. He had me modded up and like there was like 20 of us as mods. And some of the mods were so quick at like doing some of the things that helped the show that I was
time out.
useless.
What do mods do?
So basically they type in the chat things that help the show, or they like pin certain streamers up. So when a guy would make a donation back, the mod would pin up the guy that donated so they could get the plug, they could talk about him, people could click on his name and follow. It was helpful in that way. I don't know, it's like fat fingers or what, but like I would try to be helpful in that way, but it was like up in seconds. And there was like a few people who were just such like so much better mods that I was not
like, oh, this guy's good. You're like removed from room. Boom.
All I started doing was I tried to like create banter in the chat as if like I was funny, and I feel like sometimes it didn't land well. So like I felt like at one point I got the polite laugh from him, like, yeah, maybe sit this one out. Like he didn't say that, but I was like, oh man, I made like a Rudy joke.
How would you feel?
I don't know.
Like, can he revoke your mod privileges?
I imagine that. He's like, you know,
you just all of a sudden you have a mod like tag next to your name, and then it just goes away.
I want to move on from the topic because I want to interview him and I want him to answer. But I will just say this: he had no less than 150 people in his show, up to like 250 through the bulk of the show. And
hey, give people perspective that don't know what this means. How many do you usually get on average?
My average show probably sits in the high 20s to low 30s. And the most I ever got was like, I think I got 81 because he rated me. Like that was it.
Mhm.
So like otherwise, like my biggest show on my own, I think was in the 40s, but for like seconds. And it went back down into the 30s. The whole show, the lowest I saw him, and I logged in right at the beginning, was like 150. Even his bookmarks, he has like 500 bookmarks on a show. And I'm telling you, like I picked up, I think over 100 followers just from talking in the chat and just from him giving us a plug and being kind. So it was incredible. He's a different level. And I'm excited to get him on the show. We chatted a little bit about when he texted me this morning. I'll let him share his own news when we get him on, but he's got some cool stuff with his family going on. So it was like a lot of good things for him.
Before we move on away from DLava, I just have a couple follow-up questions, if that's okay. So first off, you had mentioned that you got a lot of followers. Do you have a ballpark amount that you were able to pick up from just being a part of DLava's show?
Honestly, I crossed 100. I was just counting them by hand, and it was like it was over 100 followers.
That's great. Whoa. I noticed because I joined this show, I couldn't really stay on it for too long, but I think you had sent me a message or a text or something saying like join DLava, he's whatever. So I hopped on quickly, and I noticed that there was a comment pinned to the thread. It wasn't you, it was somebody else, I think one of the other mods, and it was pinned saying follow Coach Hoops.
Yep.
So how did that happen? How did they just do that unsolicited? Did you ask them?
He did that unsolicited just because I came in the chat and said something, but he would do that for anyone who donated anything back to the show. So it wasn't just me throughout. He just picked me out early and he put our business card up on the screen for our podcast. So I'm actually curious from Joe's standpoint is like, how many do we pick up any subscribers to our podcast? Because he actually put it on his camera. And he did that on his own and like essentially dedicated a giveaway to me. I didn't buy it. So now I'm feeling bad because I put up no money and I'm seeing all these other people put up like buy $20, $30 cards and donate it back. And so I eventually bought a card and donated it back and then tried to say like, you already gave me a shout out. You don't need to do it again. And he's like, no, of course I'm going to. And so he basically did it a second time. So yeah, it was, he also, and this is what I want to talk to him about. He talks a lot about the different communities that he's associated with. And I don't know if he runs them or what, and where these communities meet, but there's a couple new streamers like, how do I get asking him questions? Like, not that he could really answer midstream, but his advice was like join a community and just be supportive. And so, I think I want to talk to him about where he's accessing these communities and, his specific interest in the communities that he's in. Because I think there's a lot to learn from that as new streamers.
He should come up with a course. As Whatnot gains popularity in terms of people trying to sell things on Whatnot, he should be teaching this. I mean, he has gone from 0 to 10,000 plus.
He's
in
over
less
13.
than a year. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's like insane. I don't know what other people like. Maybe there's a lot of others that have seen that growth, but it's not easy. So, like, Whatnot is such a new platform in the scheme of all the different platforms that are out there that I bet you there's a lot of sellers like us, and maybe even struggling more than us in terms of growth, that would benefit from some sort of structured course that he offers. So when we have him on, we got to talk to him about that, because I'm also curious about how much does he view, how much investment does he put into growth? All those donations of cards that he's buying is costing him money. It's clearly, despite the fact that it is community oriented, it's clearly a long game play in terms of it's a big part of the reason why he's able to grow his followers. But I can't wait to talk to him. I'm looking forward to, I kind of want to interview him for the podcast, and then I don't want to let him leave. And then I want to have another conversation with him where he can teach us. I want to learn from him because I don't know, he's got a good approach.
Honestly, whatever he's doing is very successful. And I would even say, just to give you more specifics of my numbers, I was just over 3,000 followers myself. I felt very good about that, even though I started, I think, like probably a week before him as a streamer. And he's over 13 and probably growing way faster because he had 250 people in last night. And I went from just over 3,000 to 3,115. So I don't know exactly where over 3,000 I was, but it's about 100 followers
to gain 100 followers for a show that's not yours is incredible.
Incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got? You had a few topics that you wanted to bring up. What was the other?
Loaded.
What else?
So I'm also, like, as you guys know, I try to stay informed of the marketplace and the new products that come out. So as new card products are released, I try to go get a box and rip them. And me and my kids like to open, so that's when I choose to do. I don't buy a lot of the same one, but NBA Donruss just came out recently, and it's the first Panini product I've opened since they lost the license. So Topps now has the license, so it's like non NBA branded cards. So at first I opened up, I feel like I pulled a mic. I bought 2 mega boxes at Dick's, and it's funny. I talk about buying cards at Dick's retail stuff, but I do want to remind people to go support their local card shops. I think Dick's can stay in business easily, and I know they can. The economies of scale allows them to charge less, but your local card shops, if they're at all competitive, I would encourage you to get them there. But so we bought 2 mega boxes, and as I opened it at first, I was just so thrown off that the brand wasn't like the logo from the Celtics and the teams weren't there. I didn't really like it. But as I kept going, as we opened the second box there, because I got one for each kid, like the amount of I don't want to call them hits because they weren't like massive cards, but the amount of parallels, cool looking inserts. They had 2 memorabilia autographs per box. Like, it was pretty fun. And Donruss is kind of a low priced product. and it gives you a lot of cards in it. So like it's like the old school pack that Mike likes. It's not the 4 cards in it. I'm pretty sure it's 15 cards in each pack. So it felt like we were getting volume. You know, I never think you get your money's back in what you open. I think it's like a casino, and I've said that before, but I appreciated the volume and I appreciated the quality of card. I was thrown off by the loss of license. Joe.
So the loss of license only means that they can't use the team logos,
Yeah.
but like the players are all for grabs. You can get. What about their shirt numbers, and the numbers okay? Is it just the logo?
The number's fine. It's really just the logo, and some products do a really good job hiding that. Like they take side shots so you can't see where the name should be on the like chest or on the
Yep.
the in the
So it
stadium or
feels more
whatever.
natural, and you can't
It
tell it's been
feels more
photoshopped
natural.
out.
This one feels clearly just removed. Like some of the photos weren't ideal in that way. So I didn't love that. And it was weird seeing a Donruss product without it because Panini had the license until then. But so there's essentially 2 deals that occur, and I don't know how some individual like players get other deals, but there's a players union contract. Panini has that. Like they can still use. They have anyone in the players union. They can put out cards to them because they have a deal with the players union. And then there's the NBA itself, which is really ownership, and that's the name of the teams. So that's where Topps has that license. So only Topps products can come out with the name of the teams clearly visible on the jersey.
I ask a question. It's somewhat related but unrelated, but it's making me think of this because in a previous podcast we talked about custom cards.
Yeah.
And all this licensure talk is making me wonder, how do custom cards seem to omit the rule? Here we're talking about companies that are signing licensure deals where they're allowed to put the team name on it or not, the team players, all that stuff. And yet we can have custom cards that just like absolutely show the team name. How is that possible?
I do appreciate you bringing that up because I actually that was my 4th topic was custom cards, but I just thought I had too much loaded for the show to actually put that on the list. But I think the real issue is legally they shouldn't be profiting off of that. I think they could get sued. I think they're just not a big enough fish that anyone's really going after them.
Do you okay. Do you think it has anything to do? I'm not going to say the name of a particular seller of custom cards because I also feel like if we're in any way not disparaging, but in any way indicating that they're not doing the right thing, I don't want to do that. But
I love some custom cards, so I don't, and I'm not against them. I think they look cool. In terms of
100%.
profiting off of them, I don't think that that's legal.
But what about the idea of, I've noticed in a few different custom card sellers on Whatnot, there seems to be an intentional form of communication that shows that these cards, they'll use the word custom, but they'll also use the word art. So it's customized art.
Oh,
is there any change? And maybe none of us know this, right? And we won't get the answer today, but maybe something that's like interesting to look into is if it's considered art versus like a trading card or a sports card, right? If it's art, is it allowed? And now the typical rules of sports cards are now no longer applied because it's a piece of art.
I mean, yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I think, we've talked about making business cards that are essentially custom cards or promotional cards. So I do think we should get the answer to that before we do that.
Yeah.
I think that would make sense. I don't really know. I will say I'm also like you throw that debate in there, but also like the image likeness debate that really hit the college scene. I feel like how could you use someone's image? So even the player side. So forget the licensed, unlicensed NBA side. How do I put up, a Michael Jordan custom card with our like business email on the back and theoretically not be in the wrong? I really don't. I don't know the legal side of it.
Yeah, and I'm speaking way out of turn here. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I feel like how there's if somebody is a person of like famous. What's the word I'm looking for? They're publicly known or whatever it is. They're whatever that is. They're now susceptible to be famous, but there's an actual term for it that then allows people to, like, if you want to do a satire, right? You don't need their permission to use their publicly known name in a satirical form.
There's a parody exception, I think.
Right.
But
and so
I'm
wondering if they're kind of using the same.
I mean, we do have a lawyer for a mom. We could try to get her on. I mean, she's been retired for like 20 years, but you know,
my opinion is, if you're looking to run a business, you're looking to make a profit in any way, shape, or form, and you introduce a logo or something that doesn't belong to you, that is going to be some kind of issue. Unless you're doing it for your own personal benefit, not going to go out there. Like even a business card, you're setting out to make money, not necessarily with the card, but if you're going to attract people by putting someone else's unlicensed logo,
using someone's logo to generate income
or just attract somebody, that's called, like, people have to pay for that. You know what I mean? Like, you have to pay to get advertised or get known, or it costs money. So
I do want to dive
into definitely
this.
Buy custom cards that have team logos on there. Maybe even NBA. I don't know. They're not jumping out at me right now off the top of my head.
And the cards I buy model like Topps and Panini card styles, like intentionally. Like it's right. Like, and they never say they don't try to ever pretend it's real. So like, they're always very transparent that it's custom, but they like use the like Color Blast or Kaboom, or they use that kind of template concept in a custom way to make it look a little different, so we haven't seen it, and yet still super cool. And I mean, I just like having some of them because they're cards I don't see often, and you keep seeing the same cards over and over. Customs are cool to see something different.
Yeah, I could see us, like, if we made something custom, I could see us putting us on it, and especially if, Matt, if you kept that beard, I think this would be an absolute
You think that would look
gem.
good on a card?
Oh my God, it would be.
Well, I do want to keep my real job, so I should probably shave the beard and not go on sports cards with it. So.
Oh yeah, throw your marriage out the window then. That's what it sounds like you're doing.
So it's career or marriage. That's what
one or the other.
That's what my choice is. I don't think my marriage is at stake for my beard.
Do you think you get fired for that facial hair?
I don't know, man. I just like, I work with kids for a living, and if I show up like this when they're back in session, I don't know if that will go well.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's any other thoughts on that topic? Do you mind kind of going on?
No, I was doing a little digging on ChatGPT to kind of figure out why, but I think this is a bigger topic for maybe another podcast, and I'd love to maybe try to find a custom card, either maker or seller or both, and get them on the show and actually talk to them and ask them about it if we could. So, but yeah, we can. You have another topic, Matt?
I do, but before I even go to that, and I really, really don't want to talk about movies because I feel like when I listen back to some of the movie stuff, but I just want to say, I finally saw the preview for that ping pong movie you guys have been talking about.
Like Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme. Yeah. I didn't even watch the movie. I saw the preview and it looked really intense, but I just couldn't get past the fact that it's all about ping pong. Like, it was a very like intense drama preview. Like, it clearly, like, life and death was happening, like really like overcoming adversity and, good and bad choices and whatever. But it was all rooted in ping pong, and I just couldn't get past it. So I didn't actually watch it. I just saw the preview. My kids kind of laughed because they had heard our episode, and they're like, "This is the movie Uncle Mike loves."
Do you think your opinion is biased based on the fact that we kind of talked about it at length a couple times
or multiple?
Yeah, I just can't believe how much we've talked about Marty Supreme on this.
And ping pong in
general. I brought it back up, so that's my bad.
This is like the third time. Yeah.
This is the third time. I have to set the record straight.
Yeah.
One, I don't think it's fair for you to say, I know I don't want to talk about movies, but, and then you bring up a movie. That's very
Well,
hard
true.
for me. I will honor that, but okay, that's one. Two, specifically for Marty Supreme, I only brought that movie up once. Joe brought it up last time. You brought it up today. I know I bring up a lot of other movies and I'll work on that. I will try to minimize that. My wife made it clear to me after the most recent episode.
I like how she took my side. Yeah.
Oh, and she was like, that was so boring. I would say that was the first time in this entire podcast journey that we've been on where I was genuinely hurt. It hurt me to know that because remember, our wives in particular liked our podcast when we went off the topic of sports cards, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not super interested in the way that we are.
Mm-hmm.
And so this
I don't
was
think
an
my
off
wife
to-
is listening at all, so I don't think
Fair-
she has an
well,
opinion.
She should probably be more supportive, but that's fine. So
Yeah.
the off topic is like for the wives. It's for the non-sports cards people. And to hear her, I got a text from her that basically just said, "Your brother was right. That was super boring. I completely lost focus." It's like, oh, ow, it just hurt. So I won't talk about movies ever again to anybody,
Which
podcast or
hurt-
no podcast. I'm done.
Hold on. Did it hurt worse that she said your brother is right?
That was
Like-
the best part.
That right there, I feel like is like, wait, what? Which one? You mean Joe, right? No, Matt. Oh, yeah.
I went through such an emotional roller coaster. I found my brain trying to blame Matt, like, well, he set it up. And then I got mad at you, Joe, because you made the intro to that show, Matt calling me out for a boring story. And that was the intro. So I'm like, well, of course they're going to find it boring. That's how the show started. They're being informed to find it boring. And then it ultimately led to me just sitting quietly in a corner feeling sad for myself. But I feel better now, but it hurt. But we can move on because I don't want to talk about movies.
Well, I shouldn't have said I don't want to talk about movies. I didn't want you to bring up a new movie. I didn't want another review.
I won't. I promise.
I wanted to recall because I finally saw a preview, so I had a sense
I
of what you're
did
talking
see
about.
Disclosure Day, by the way.
Oh,
Okay,
no. We can't.
I don't wanna do
All
it.
right, moving on.
Moving on.
Another sports card topic. Are we good with another one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys are on the like YouTube like card scene at all. If you're like aware, if you are following anybody. Like my kids do a lot of that. They follow a lot of influencers in the card space. One of the guys, because of that, I started to follow and just
Fallen in
enjoy
love
his,
with. You fell in
Fallen
love.
in love with. Go
Yep.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Is this guy? He runs a show, a YouTube channel called Kurt's Card Care, and his whole thing is he basically repairs cards, and I don't know if he necessarily sells them or if he just likes repairing them and collects them and stores them, but essentially now he sells a product for you to do the same thing. So
Okay.
there's a little bit of controversy now surrounding him. He honestly seems like a really good guy, so I don't think it's intentional controversy. It's not like he's doing anything like malicious. All he's trying to do is like repair old cards. But he sent a few cards away for grading, and he had done that for a while. He repairs cards, he sends them off for grading and gets a better grade. Like he'll crack them, fix them up, he'll send them and they'll get a better grade. So, but it seems like he's gotten enough notoriety now that one of his cards he sent in for grading essentially got rejected for grading, and it was talked about like altering the card. It's now being identified as altering. So it's a little bit like in a debate right now in the hobby of like, what is his approach? What is his attempt? What's in the products that he's selling? So anyways, I like what he's doing in terms of just repairing cards, especially if they're on PC cards to make them look nicer. So I bought like a starter package of his stuff. And I started trying to like repair cards because remember, I have a couple Babe Ruths that are older and I'd like to send for grading. Now, I haven't tried it on those. I'm only trying it on low end cards right now that I don't care about because I'm not particularly good at it. But I will say, like, I tried it on a 1975 Bobby Bonds card, Barry's dad. And honestly, it like really did a good job like
I'm
strengthening the card. Wait,
I'm
what do you say?
hoping it's an absolute disaster. Like,
No,
okay. Oh, all right. That's
no.
actually pretty good. I thought you were
I
gonna hold up
actually
like pieces that was all
No, it
peeling.
wasn't really
Oh.
bad to begin with. So I don't want to pretend like I tried it on a Fred Lynn card that was bad. But in the Bobby Bonds card, like the bottom right corner was totally like smushed. It was like totally pushed in. I was able to work the corner out, and it's like a solid, like hard, like 90-degree corner. The problem is what I didn't realize because I couldn't see it is like the paint had been removed from that corner. So it doesn't repair the paint in any way. So like paint's just gone, it's gone. But it's a sharp corner now. It's
Why
just
don't you get out your little paintbrush and paint the corner?
I would assume that is altering, but all
Mhm.
my corners are pretty good. The surface is nice, and there's like two parts of the starter kit I bought. It's like a wax and a spray. And most of what you do when you're repairing damage to cars, especially older cars, is the spray and like a certain technique and like kind of like holding the card in certain positions and like flattening out corners and things. And
Mhm.
then on the newer cards is the wax. So like it's supposed to be there for print lines. I haven't had the nerve to really try that yet, but it is something I want to do. This Fred Lynn, that it's a 79 Fred Lynn, was like folded in half. Like there's a crease that goes like right across here. And I still see the crease. Like it's still there, but it's way better than it was. So I mean, you can't what he did that got rejected for grading is he took a card like that and just soaked it in the spray, like actually submerged it in the spray. And he recorded the video and he took it out and he like dried it properly and he showed you how to do it all. That was the card that was identified as altered, and then PSA like rejected it. But I don't know. I wasn't sure if you guys had heard anything, if there's any interest there. I wanted your opinion.
I'm very interested in restoring, cleaning, caring for cards in a way that makes them look better. My instinct when you said that, it's viewed as altering, I would disagree if you're not adding things to it. So if you color in that corner with a color that you're trying to match it with, that's altering because now you're adding something to it. If you're trying to straighten out a crease, a corner, if you're trying to clean off a card or whatever, and you're able to successfully do that, or at least improve the look of the card, I don't get why that's a bad thing. I think there's not, whether you sell it, whether you keep it in your PC, I don't see why that's problematic as long as it's not like temporarily better and then you sell it with it looking one way and then the shine goes away after a week and it's bad again, right? So I'm assuming that's not the case, but that would be the only adding to it or in some way using the cleaning method to deceive. I would say those are the negatives. Now, the bigger picture, when I think about PSA, I worry about if this became a more common trend, if it becomes, viral via YouTube or whatever.
I think it kind of has been. I think this is what happened, but go ahead.
All right. Well, so this guy making a video about submerging it and then getting it graded, he's setting himself up because he's admitting that he's doing this. And clearly, if he's well known enough, and anybody else too, it's not exclusively him, but anybody else that is like putting content out there and making it known, I think you're setting yourself up to give PSA a reason to maybe say, no, this has been altered.
But why,
even though
why would they have the like moral, like logic, I guess? I don't know if that's the right word, but like to even do that, because publicizing it's one thing, but if they can just get a good card that meets their standard and it hasn't been added to, like you said, what's the
Well, so I agree with you. Joe, did you want to chime in?
On what basis did they reject it? Like, did they detect whatever he dipped it in, or is it they see the video?
So
like,
I think they saw the video. I think because I think he's done it before. He just wasn't as big, and I think they graded it. And to me, that feels like it makes me suspicious of PSA, and that like they just don't want more higher grades.
So did they not even look at the card? Because what if
So
he
I
tricked
don't
them
know
and
those
said, "Ha
details.
ha, I actually sent you a regular card,"
I don't know.
you know?
Well, so, and that kind of brings me to my other point from a bigger picture, like zooming out a little bit. I worry about what this would do to the PSA process if they're paranoid that more and more people are in some way altering. It's just going to make the whole. They're already a struggling grading company, not struggling financially, but like their turnaround time is terrible. Their communication, their customer support is awful. So there's a
Reputation
lot of
struggling.
it's but they're still the leading company, so I acknowledge that. But the last thing that company needs is another reason to make things complicated, to make the grading process just a little bit harder. But my overall takeaway, Matt, is I say to Kurt at Kurt's Card Care, keep caring for those cards. That's a good thing.
I
It's,
agree.
let's clean these things up. Especially, I'm retro ripping. I like the older stuff. And Matt, you have Babe Ruths.
I know.
Again,
I'm
smart
getting
move,
more and
not
more into
messing with it.
vintage stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to
Yeah.
touch the Babe Ruth, I don't think. But I would say to both of you, and Joe, as a person who's more artistic than us, I would say first of all, I'd go watch a couple of Kurt's Card Care videos. He does a live stream where people just watch him repair a car live because so he shows it's not being edited in any way.
Yep.
And then also maybe watch some of the videos that are negatives, like I guess calling out what he's doing just to see what the opposing view is. But I would say my son Leo is obsessed with this concept because he almost likes the art of it. Like he likes the idea of repairing it. He sits and does it with me. The reason I have two cards is because he did one and I did one. And he colored as a kid a lot more than he does now, but like this felt like an escape for him, like a puzzle or like a
Yeah.
drawing.
Like, how
And
can I be a
Yeah.
card forger? How can I forge this?
well, maybe
Yeah,
that's where he's
that's
going.
his end game. He's like,
Yeah.
yep.
I can
Yep.
see that though.
It's just
I
one
can
step.
see I can see myself enjoying the process of cleaning a card. That's similar to people who make like little models or people
Yep.
who paint. Like there's,
I was gonna say I could
totally
see
see that.
Marlo liking this too, like Marlo doing this. Like I could see her appreciating this.
Honestly,
process.
she'd be really good at it too because
Yeah.
she's
I
detail
I just
oriented. So
I think if
boom.
this becomes a thing, there needs to be like a new category of card, like certified refurbished or something like
No,
that.
no, no, no. But
I don't
so
think so.
I
I think only if
disagree,
you
Joe.
add to it.
Right, because we're not cleaning something up does not change what it is. You're just removing imperfections that were there that like happened over time. Fixing something does not make it a new thing. You're just fixing what it is.
Trimming a card is a big no-no. So like PSA will reject cards if you trim it. Like if you take like a laser cutter and take a like rough edge and you just really thin trim of a card like that, if that's picked up on, card will be rejected. And that's said to be no. I'm basically saying, cleaning it, like not taking anything existing out of it,
Right.
but just like essentially flattening it. Like if you take a card that's kind of rounded and you put it between two books and it ends up not being rounded, is that bad?
Right. I agree with you. And the answer is no, it isn't. And I can't believe it. We agree on this.
You and I agree. Joe's the
I'm
wrong
the one
one.
that's like, no, guys, this is a real dicey subject. I don't like it. I feel like we're going down a bad path. This is just going to result in like, was this refurbished? Was this redone? What is this? Is this a natural corner, or did Matt like pinch it in between his fingers for like 35 minutes to get it back to its normal?
Joe's like a Karen.
I'm
Joe.
I'm a card cleaning Karen.
I'm romanticizing this a little bit, but there's definitely a part of me that finds it appealing to actually sell less and in between streams, really taking my time prepping cards, really just making them clean. Look, again, not altering them, but just making sure they're as optimally presented as possible. Nothing deceptive, not making anything look in a way that it isn't. But when I look at some of the really good sellers with a lot of, hundreds of people in their room, and right now I'm thinking in particular, I think the username is Art of Cardboard. His cards are always beautifully presented. They're always clean. They're in a mag. He's got a cool logo on like the top of the mag that's taped down, and it just looks so nice. And not that changes the value of the card, but I think it adds to the quality of the show if you just put time into really making sure these cards are presentable.
I agree with you that it will add value. I'm not really drawn to that. Like if I'm buying cards I know for resale, like I really want to buy them in better condition that I don't have to do that. So I'm not romanticizing that. But however, my way of romanticizing is I like to buy old collections in people's closets, and some of them are not going to be in good shape if you buy like that. So the idea of finding stuff that you can kind of clean up and fix.
Why are you guys You're both romanticizing stuff. What the
We're
heck is
romantic
going on?
people.
Well, the reason why I'm saying romanticizing it is because I think the reality is, am I really going to sit down in my basement where I have my cards and like clean each one at a time? The reality is I don't want to give that time,
No.
but I'm romanticizing it because I can picture it in my mind and it seems nice.
I will say it's fun. It's fun, but I couldn't do it for every card in a show. I did it for like 2 cards and I enjoyed it, but I'm not like dying to do it again. I will do it again when I get another card I want to try. I want to try like a new.
Do we want to pick out like 1 or 2 cards and have like a filming of it, and we'll just like, go through the steps and make our own video and see how successful it is and get people's opinions. Like, hey, this is what we did. Here are the cards. You want to do that, Matt?
Not really.
Matt, did you buy the
just poop on all my
care
eggs? Go right ahead.
directly from like that guy's website, or did you go on Amazon?
I don't think so. I bought it on Amazon, so I might have bought it like secondhand, and I don't know. But
all right, what else do we have to talk about?
The only thing
wicked good pull. Wicked good pull of the week. Mike, did you?
Yeah, because I got to wrap up because we're past my hard stop.
All right, then I'm going to intro it right now.
Nice. Matt, go ahead.
First? All right.
No, you got it.
My pull of the week is one that I picked out with my son, Leo. It's his PC guy, Rob Dillingham. It's a Topps Chrome 2025 Sapphire selection. So it's one of the newer products. No one really that I have ever met likes Rob Dillingham other than my son, Leo. But it's a really cool card. It's got like a cracked ice finish. Is it
refurbished?
It's not refurbished under the definition you've given.
Just checking.
But it was just cool to buy it with him. It's in his PC. Like, I think it was a $3 card. It's not expensive, but like the experience and how excited he was to just pick it out. And we bought it on eBay. We found it on eBay. So it's something we just did together. We ordered it. And then when it came in the mail, he was so excited. So it was like a couple events that we got to share together. So my pull of the week is a 2025 Topps Chrome Rob Dillingham Sapphire selection.
Do you think Leo has found his Drew Bledsoe?
I do, and it's weirder than Drew Bledsoe because like Rob Dillingham was like never really good in the pros. Like Drew Bledsoe was a legitimate top 3 quarterback for a little bit in his career. And like at
like
a time
5 minutes.
Yeah, but when I was little, Rob Dillingham was just on the show OTE. He played for Minnesota, wasn't great. He got traded to the Bulls. I don't know. By the way, it's not as new as I thought, but
can I give mine, or are you going to think out loud for long periods of time?
Yeah, you got it.
All right.
So the last one of the most recent podcasts we talked about, I was going to try and get one of the Disney Topps Chrome blaster boxes, whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. And Matt, you were kind enough. You were kind of weird because you called me and you were like, "Hey, do you want me to get one for you?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great." And then 2 seconds later, like, "Well, you can only get 2, so you're gonna have to come down and get it." And I was like,
"Yeah, I kind of want to explain myself, but go ahead."
No, you can't, because this is my pull of the week. So long story short, he still got it for me. So thank you. And then I, of course, reimbursed you. And you forced us to rip these in front of you. I felt that was a weird stipulation to give us this gift and then say, but now I'm going to watch you all open them. However, it was kind of fun.
You paid for it, so it was...
Yeah, but you went and got them, and then you brought them over our house. But you called me at like 9:30 at night. And you're like, "We're coming over," and I was like, "Oh, okay." But it was fun because we all got to rip some Disney cards together. So my pull of the week is the Topps Chrome Disney Troy Bolton, aka Zach Efron from High
Come
School
on.
Musical. That is my
That
pull
is a
of the
pull.
week. This is the modern day Jordan Knight, everybody. This is
Yes,
it
it
right
really
here.
is.
So there you go.
I
There
have
you
to
have it.
say, Disney Chrome is a fun product to open. And most
Yeah.
of like the Disney products, whether it's Marvel, Star Wars, or the actual just Disney,
Yeah.
they're fun opens. Like they're fun to rip.
I love the cards. They check off all the boxes. They're nice and thick. They're shiny, all of them. They're cool. And yes, my next venture will be Marvel now. Now that we did Disney, I'm going to do Marvel Topps Chrome and get a box of that. All right, outro music.
Outro music.
The wickedest pull of the week.
Yeah.
Love
That
it.
song gets better and better every time I hear it. I like it more. I like hated it first, but I 180
know.
it
I
on
love
like
it.
Mike
Love
does.
it. Love it. Do we have any topics to close out on?
I mean, I feel like I have to justify why I called you and like kind of pulled back on my offer to get you a box. But I didn't know you could only get 2 boxes when you walked in. So I was on the phone with you walking in and I was like about to grab it. And then I saw like limit of 2 and I was like, oh, you got to come get it. Like, cause I wanted to buy
Wait,
2
so
of
you
something
couldn't
else.
have accepted just buying 1 box for yourself? So
Well, he
you
did.
you
He
I
did
have 2
accept it.
kids.
but what I'm saying is like you needed 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Matt, for the
And
record,
had
I have
no
3
problem.
kids. We're buying a box of multiple packs here. We'll be okay, all of us.
You couldn't
Yeah,
have like
no,
gone
that's fair.
out. Was there anyone else with you that could have gone in and gotten
Yeah.
another pair?
Probably,
yet-
but actually,
Wait, so
this
let me get this straight.
particular.
You made Mike an offer as you were walking in. You
then
found out the
quickly walked.
restrictions and
I
then
actually
said,
knew I had
"Oh,
forgotten, though."
wait a minute. I can only get 2."
That's right, Joe. You're
and
exactly
2
right.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Really,
Yeah,
Matt?
that's
And I was
You-
kind of
and
like,
you
wait a
have-
minute,
you
you
have no-
called me.
Yeah. Offering
all
to
of
buy
that
you
is
something.
accurate.
Oh,
But I
mean,
followed through. I end up only
did.
getting 1 box for myself and my
at
kids,
what
and 1 box
emotional
for Mike's family.
cost? It sounds like this was a lot
I
for
honestly sat there for like a while after I said I was like, fine. He's like, you called me. And I was like, fine, I'll get it. And then I sat there, like I hung up the phone and like my kids now went to like the putting area. So they were playing with like golf clubs.
Yep.
And I just sat there kind of like looking down at the ground for like
Right.
15 minutes, like, man,
Mm.
what do I do? What do I
Wow.
do? What do I do?
you. Yeah. You're going,
Yeah.
Mike's
Big
going to get the
decision.
Zac
I was like,
Efron.
oh
Right.
God, do I keep it? Do I keep it? That's why when you say, can you pick something up for me? I'm not good at that. I want to just get my own something.
Okay. I think they call
Okay.
that selfishness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
sure. I think it
Goes
might
by
be
a
like
lot of-
addiction of some sort. It's some sort of
okay,
addiction,
well,
but
yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
There might be a few different terms for this.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's the act of having it in your hand, not being able to rip it and do those things. Like that requires a lot of discipline.
well,
And
I
you-
mean, obviously because I made you do it in front of me so I could still be a part
Yeah,
of
that
it.
was weird. That was weird.
Yeah,
But
that was
okay,
happening.
Here we are.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
All right, we all
I'm hitting
done?
my hard stop. I got to be done.
Okay,
Hard
guys.
stop. Hard
All right.
stop.
Bye. Love
Peace.
you.
All right, boys. Love you.
Days. Yeah.
Later.